Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I just had one of the craziest experiences ever on Doordash. A customer tried to scam me out of groceries and alcohol. And in the end, I ended up getting free groceries. Let me break down how all of this occurred and how it all went down and why I think the customer was most definitely trying to play the system. So let's go ahead and rewind all the way to the beginning. I'm doing DoorDash, knocking out my orders, trying to hit my daily goal, right? And I get a shopping order. Order came in at $15.50, right? $15.50 for 5 miles. So all things considered, that's a great shopping order. 4 items. A fifth of Tito's, vodka, a home run pizza, some watermelon juice, and a case of Mount something sparkling water. But this wasn't no regular sparkling water. They was 1 liter glass bottles, and it was 12 of them. So it was like $23 for the water, for the case of water. It was like $23 for the Tito's. Oh, and some Viva paper towels. So you got the paper towels, the Tito's, the home run pizza, the watermelon juice. And was that it? Yeah, I think that was everything. Ended up being $75 worth of goods from DoorDash, right? And I've done this plenty of times. Go in, get an alcohol item, shop for a few other items that the customer may want. Simple enough. So I'm getting in the checkout line, doing my thing. They scan the barcode. I pay for it with my DoorDash Red card. Everything's running smoothly. Get the groceries loaded up in the car. Head to the delivery destination. Everything's smooth, right? Read the customer instructions in the app. And this is where it gets weird right here. It say, park in the alley. There is a door with a keypad. I will come down. I'm like, okay, this is not the weirdest thing ever. It was an apartment on Main Street, right next to a pizza shop, and they had an alley right there. And it's a busy Main Street, so there is no parking up there. Usually when I deliver to this building, I have to park in the back and walk around front to the apartments that's above the businesses on Main Street. So I pull in the back like normal. And then I pull down the alley right up next to the door with the keypad. Message the customer, I am here. Wait a few minutes. And I mean 2-3 minutes. Message the customer again. Boom. I'm here. I'm parked right where you told me to park at. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm 5 minutes in. And I'm like, what is going on? Now I done been here about 5 minutes. Probably more like 7.5 minutes for real, because I'm doing a live stream. I'm talking with the chat. I'm trying to get suggestions of what to do. And this whole time, the customer ain't responded at all. They have not come down at all. And at this point, I'm getting frustrated as I got a DoorDash order coming in. We getting $7 for 3.9 miles. At Taco Bell at that. I'm not taking that. So look, I'm like, okay, maybe it's somewhere to park. I drive around the block. Mind you, this is Main Street. There is no parking. No parking at all. Only place to park at is in the back. I drive around the corner, circle around the block just to make sure the addresses is right, everything lining up, everything is good. I pull back to the back now. Now I'm like, okay, forget the alley. I park, hop out, walk all the way around to the front, make sure that the address is correct. Absolutely correct. They got a little storefront downstairs and there's some apartments up front. So maybe the side door with the keypad is actually the only place for them to come down and grab the order if it's after business hours, because like what else can they do? So I'm like, at this point, man, this customer got 3 minutes to come down or respond to me, or I'm taking it back. I'm initiating a return, because I'm not finna waste my whole night trying to get this customer these items, because when you're doing an alcohol delivery on DoorDash, you have to get that verification or you cannot complete that order. You have to take it back. That's going to be an instant automatic deactivation if you deliver that order. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't verify. It's automatic deactivation, so it ain't even no point in even dealing with that at all. So I'm like, all right, time's up. I gave them all the ample time I could. I'm taking this back to Dearbergs. So I load. Wait, hold up. What is that noise? Okay, boom. So I'm loaded up. I'm ready to go back to Dearbergs. And I head all the way back to Dearbergs. I was not playing. Get out, grab a shopping cart, because mind you, it's a case of water and some groceries, so I can't just carry a couple bags back in. I got to get a cart. Get me a cart, load the stuff up, wheel it back on in. I go right up to the customer service desk when I get there. I'm like, yeah, so I did this DoorDash shopping order. Customer was unavailable. If it was groceries, I just left it, took a picture, kept it moving. But it had alcohol. Have to get that verification. Hey, I understand, Mr. DoorDash driver. Let me go ahead and get my manager so that she can see what's up. Manager comes on over. She like, I'm very sorry, but we don't accept DoorDash returns. What you mean you don't accept DoorDash returns? So if a DoorDash driver unable to deliver the order and is telling them in the app to return the items, you don't have a process or a system in place to get those items back? Because how else are you gonna get your, I guess what they saying is DoorDash paying for them items no matter what. And if the customer don't get them, I guess they go to the Dasher. So that's how I ended up with free groceries. But here's where things get really, really weird. Here's where they get weird at right here. I'm in the car, I'm talking to the live chat, I'm letting them know what happened, even though I took them in the store with me so that they can see what happened, just so it can be a learning experience for everybody. They like, hey, free groceries, free groceries. I'm excited, you know, $75 worth of groceries. But then I think like, hold on. This is $75 worth of groceries. Ain't no way DoorDash is finna let me get $75 worth of groceries and get away with it. This got to be a scam. It got to be something else going on. Because if I'm DoorDash looking at this like we just lost $75, or I'm the customer looking like I ain't get my items. So lo and behold, that's when it happened. That's the moment it happened. I get a message in the Dasher app after the return is complete, after the delivery is complete in the sense that I was unable to verify the customer, so I didn't give them the items and I initiated their return. But I'm done with the order. I'm getting brand new DoorDash orders coming in while I'm at Dearbergs after putting the items back in my car because they refuse to take them back from me. Ain't like I'm just finna leave the cart in Dearbergs. No, I'm taking this stuff back to the car. So the customer then messaged me like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your message. Nah, no, sir. No, sir. I started to message him back and say, you know what? I'm about to bring you this stuff. This is $75 worth of stuff. I'm bringing it back. If somebody pay for their stuff, they want it. I'm bringing it back. That was my first thought. But then I said, no. Hold on. This is an alcohol delivery. It's already out of my hands. The order is gone. I have no way to scan your ID within the DoorDash app, collect your signature, and give you these items. DoorDash gave me full pay for initiating the return. It said you will be paid full pay on this order. Return the items to the merchant where you picked it up from. And I did that, closed it out, got the full $15.50. So now the customer is messaging me after the fact, trying to get free groceries, because if they haven't done their part, scanned the ID, signed over, they are not gonna get their debit card or whatever they got tied to their DoorDash account. They're not gonna get that charge because there was no transaction. So if I correspond with them after everything said and done and bring them groceries, they just got free groceries up out of DoorDash and up out of me, right or wrong. So I said, nah, look, I'm not saying nothing to this customer. I said, nah, I know exactly what I need to do. I'm about to not, first and foremost, I'm about to not respond to this customer at all. Because if you watch my channel and you watch my videos, you know my number one rule. Well, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you right now. My number one rule when it comes to doing DoorDash is do not contact the customer. If the customer contact you, do not respond to them. Because this is very simple. This is very easy work and it shouldn't be no communication. The most communicating you should do with a customer is them leaving you a message in the app about what to do when you get there. Other than that, any communication you do with the customer can lead to alternate to lead to consequences that you were not foreseeing. So your best bet is to never, ever correspond with the customer. And I know some folks gonna say, hey, well, if you talk to the customer, you can get, higher tips and better rating and blah blah yada yada. Yeah, you might be right, but what you can also get is deactivated for saying the wrong thing or them interpreting what you saying the wrong way. So you better off not saying nothing to them at all, picking up the order, dropping it off, and trying to get as many of them done as possible. So I stuck to my rules. I did not respond to that customer when they messaged me after a failed delivery. I hit up support, let them know exactly what happened, detailed down to the T. And let them know also, hey, the customer is contacting me after a failed delivery attempt. And I hit up you guys right away because I do not communicate with the customer, especially after a delivery has been complete, failed delivery or not. So the DoorDash support associate let me know, hey, you did all steps correctly right. You know what I'm saying? You have nothing to worry about. Do not respond to that customer and just keep on doing your deliveries as normal. And that's the best you can do because there's nothing else to be done for this. So I'm like, cool. Now I'm taking a sigh of relief because now I done got the $15.50 in full pay. And I got $75 worth of groceries. But I went straight to the crib, made that pizza, threw some jalapenos up on that thing. I ain't cracked the Tito's open yet because I had to get up early this morning. And, we got things to do. We can't just be cracking open bottles just because we get them. But I sure made that pizza right away. And I'm very happy because, I came out with $75 worth of free groceries. And I was just expecting to get a decent tip on the order. But here's the most interesting part about this whole situation. This is a situation where the customer was most definitely trying to scam DoorDash because they could have tricked a newer Dasher, might have responded to those messages, right? Might have thought they was doing the right thing and brung the customer those items even though you have no way to verify after the fact. So this is an opportunity to teach other Dashers what to do if you encounter a situation like that. Do not correspond with the customer. If you do not scan their ID, do not give them that alcohol. If you don't collect that signature, do not give them that alcohol. And somebody said, oh, well, you could have just left the groceries and took the alcohol back. No. When you're doing orders and it calls for a return, you return the whole order. I don't care what app you own. There is never going to be a situation where you need to split up a customer's order because of verification purposes. No. Either you deliver the whole order or you return the whole order, and that's it. But if you ever in a situation like this and you are not able to verify the customer's identification, right? What you need to do is go ahead, initiate a return, and you need to also hit up support once you are able or unable to return those items, just so there's documentation with you doing the right thing and the customer can't double back and say, hey, I never got my items. Order never received or anything like that. Even though I don't think that was the case in this situation, still you want to protect yourself because at the end of the day, this customer has a scheme to potentially get free groceries and alcohol because they still probably got a refund on the order because they didn't sign and they didn't get their ID scanned. So they still got a refund on the items that was ordered. DoorDash got scammed out of $75 worth of groceries. That's really what it all boils down to. But you still can get caught in the crosshairs as a Dasher and potentially get yourself deactivated or even locked up for providing alcohol to some underage folks because you didn't go through the right and proper channels of verification while doing these deliveries. So if there's Dashers out there, please, this is a PSA. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, checking your P's and Q's, and don't fall for this. I ain't gonna say new DoorDash scam, but I done thousands of deliveries, thousands upon thousands of DoorDash orders, right? And I ain't never had a situation like this where a customer contacted me after the fact on an alcohol delivery. Like, nah, big dog, you got to have that verification or you is not going on an alcohol vacation. Straight up. You ain't making no pizza. You ain't drinking no watermelon juice. You ain't doing none of that. Straight up. Because I need to make this money. And you know what? I'm going to leave you with this last little fact. Whenever you have a situation where you are not able to deliver an order or complete an order And DoorDash usually gives you some type of compensation, and it's usually half pay. Well, that half pay or full base pay is usually all you get. I got the full $15.50 for this order. That leads me to believe that there was no tip on this order, because usually if it's a tip on the order and you have to get half pay or only base pay, that excludes the tip. So example, if you get a $10 order and the customer tip $5, it's $5 in base pay. You run into issues, you can't deliver the order, you can't complete it, but DoorDash give you compensation. It's usually only that $5. Usually the $5 tip go back to the customer. So if I got the full $15.50, that mean it was all base pay. That mean this customer was most definitely trying to scam, because it wasn't no tip on the order. I got the full base pay, and they trying to trick new dashers into bringing them $75 worth of groceries when they ass already planning on getting a refund. Listen, if you learned anything in this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and look, stop playing with me, okay? We about to hit 50,000 subscribers, then we gonna hit 100,000, and then we gonna hit all the thousands. I'll see you in the next.